My name is Untitled O'Reilly, and I lead a group called Any Scale Learning for All, or ALPHA, at the Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Lab at MIT. And my group's research is at the intersection of machine learning and evolutionary computation with cybersecurity. Well, I don't think something's intelligent if it can't learn. So it's kind of a negative there. I see intelligence manifested in all sorts of environments and in all sorts of different ways. So I think an ant's intelligent because it is robust and able to adapt to its environment and survive and replicate. So I think of systems as intelligent because the parts of them can work together and provide utility to every element. And I think of people as intelligent in a very obviously a human way, whether it be facets of emotion, the ability to speak with language, our visual processing, and of course our ability to learn. So right now what I'm super excited about is adversarial dynamics. I'm really intrigued by the fact that throughout nature we see adversarial engagements where one side is competing with another side, either for resources or for supremacy. And where I'm watching that play out right now is in the cybersecurity domain, where network attacks get launched or malware tries to infiltrate your system. And I'm really interested in the dynamics of how attackers learn to adapt to defensive changes and how this arms race ensues. And that, I think, is very reflective of a co-evolutionary process, and so it brings together the algorithmic ideas in co-evolutionary algorithms with a real pressing problem and a natural dynamic that we're seeing in the world in the cybersecurity domain. Deep learning came out of a winter where neural nets had sort of been pushed aside, and they were rejuvenated because they proved really useful because they could take advantage of lots of data and lots of compute. And I wonder if there's some analogy there with the fact that with all that compute, but you don't really need data with evolutionary algorithms, there's some path to thinking of evolutionary computation as sort of being able to take advantage of compute and being able to show macro-scale learning that can be just as important to getting us to that full-faceted AI as deep learning could do. That actually was a really compelling reason for me embracing evolutionary algorithms, was this ability for discovery that I still don't see in any other algorithm. I saw inference when I looked at machine learning algorithms. That was really exciting too, the fact that with an algorithm we can infer relationships from data. But right now, evolutionary computation is the one means I know of that can discover new things. And I think that's extremely compelling. And what's been really healthy about the evolutionary computation community is that they haven't become fixated on an old cause, that they're always very open to new trends that come through. So just this past spring, I was in Parma, Italy, at the European Conference on Genetic Programming and the EvoStar conference. And there was lots of contributions that tried to understand the relationship between deep learning and evolutionary computation, for example. And I think that's a great trend. It reflects that our community understands what's going on around them and tries to integrate their approaches with other approaches. I think AI will reach out and touch everybody globally. I think that it will have impact on how we deliver healthcare. It does have impact on how we deliver education. I work with online education. I look at the data that's collected when students learn online, and I try and understand their behavior. And that allows me to think about the psychology of learning. It allows me to help experts in learning psychology. And it also allows me to work with experts who think about how students learn. So all of those things are going to have these trickle-down effects. So beyond healthcare, beyond cybersecurity, and beyond education, I think that every domain is going to see some sort of influence from artificial intelligence.